Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week's episode of Reconnecting the Dots, brought to you by Abdurrahman. Once again, I want to empower and help you to become the best version of yourself through this podcast, and I hope it benefits you. So take a listen to this week's episode and let me know what you think. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 14 of Reconnecting the Dots podcast. With me on the show today is Dr. Ebunoluwa from England, United Kingdom. Thank you for coming on the show. I am super excited to have you on the show on this day. You know, it's been a minute. Been trying to, have you come on the show and all that. Well, I have known Dr. Ebunoluwa for a while. Not 1 year, not 2 years, at least way over 6 years. She's a specialty trainee of Obstetrics and Gynaecology in Doncaster, United Kingdom. So let's just delve a little bit into the topic of the day. So, Dr. Eva, can you tell us, a little bit about yourself, your background, how you ended up in England?
Okay. Thank you for having me, Larry. And so, my name is Ebun. I probably prefer being called Ebun. I'm a medical doctor. I studied in Obstetrics and University in Nigeria. And then after medicine, I had my internship at UCH. And then I did my NYSC at the military hospital in Jos. During that time, already writing my exams and then trying to get into the United Kingdom, which was so after NYSC, I then moved here, wrote my exams, and then relocated here finally about 2 years ago, and I've been here since then.
Wow, that's interesting. That seems to be a journey there, because again, perhaps while you were in medical school, a lot of people would have also wanted to probably journey through that same path with you and all that. But of course, we all have different purposes or different path in our life, so having said that, of course the topic of the day is actually around the journey of a fulfilling life. So how has your journey shaped you as an individual and as a physician or a doctor, looking at, if you look back, maybe 2 years, 3 years, or 7 years, how has that journey shaped you, till date?
Well, generally in life, I would say that who we are or wherever we are at the moment is a factor of the experiences we've had, places we've been to, the family we come from, and a whole lot of other factors. And
right.
My journey has shaped me. Looking back, the years, primary school, secondary school, uni, the friends I made, the activities I was involved in, church. I think everything has come together to shape who I am today, and I will give that. Well, as a physician, I'm currently in specialty training in ONG, and ONG is just something I've always loved, and I know It's quite demanding and all that, but it is quite demanding. But me having to choose from Obstetrics and Gynaecology when I got to the United Kingdom, I had to really sit down and really, what do you really want? What are the factors? What are the odds? And I knew that this is something I would really want to do, and then I have a chance at getting it.
Right.
And so I told myself, why not just give it a shot? Even if you feel like, if things really get difficult at some point or get too demanding and you feel like, maybe I want to probably just leave, if I look back, then I can always tell myself that when you wanted it and then you had it. So if you had to leave, it was because situations at this particular point have changed, and then you think the best decision would be to leave. But you wanted this, you had it, and you're satisfied with that decision. So for me, it's just that.
Okay. I mean, what you just said just, also just reminded me of, some years back. I mean, I'm sure you remember this year when, we were on the project together with the Lagos state government. We were trying to, it was something that has to do with the public health. So,
Yeah.
and I remember having to, um, uh, recruiting volunteers to help out in different areas because it was a kind of a public health also in relation to actually um, educating and providing awareness about the appropriate way on how to toothbrush and different kind of thing like that. Something just really struck my mind as to all those journey. Like, I mean, those things at that point in time where I would say, well, for my own self, at that point in time, I was on a career path. It was a journey I had to go through. All right. I mean, at that point in time, not necessarily saying, well, I wouldn't say at that point in time I was probably fulfilled, but I think there was this passion in me that just wanted me to just keep doing it, despite all of it. I mean, you and I know that it was even very, very difficult in Nigeria at the time compared to even now. It's even worse now. But hey, that's not even what we're talking about. I was just trying to, be reminded of how well, one journey has actually been. Because the truth is, you know, we have to, at a point say, well, you know what, I have to celebrate every little win.
True.
So, can you tell me, at that point in time when you probably felt like maybe quitting, what kept you going on?
Okay, so when I had to make the decision for training, it was that I just started. So it wasn't like I was, what I was trying to say initially was that I've started now. If I get to that point and I feel like, oh, I want to leave, or if I feel like, oh, I probably want to change my mind, and then I would be able to tell myself that, oh, I wanted this and I went for it. It wasn't like I'd not gotten to that point of quitting yet. But then when I had to make that decision, I remember that the first recruitment exercise, that particular period, I know I applied for another specialty, but I felt like, Ebon, I don't think this is you. I don't think this is what you will want. I know every other person is probably doing it. It's easier, it's shorter, and then it's more comfortable. It seems a bit more rewarding and all. But I just looked at myself and I'm like, I know that I think I probably would just want more. And so I pulled out of that recruitment phase, and I was like, I was going to take my time and then just slow pace. There's no rush anymore. Just take my time. So I just slow paced. I took my time. I took like a break, and I'm like, let me just think about it. Just figure out, what do you really want? How do you want to achieve all this and all that? And put all your factors together. So I took the break. So it was about 6 months or thereabout. So that period, I was able to probably talk to people. I think I did a taster session in that specialty in my previous hospital, just to see what it's like. And then I was like, everyone, just give it a shot. Like, just do it. If this is really what you want, and instead of just delivering it, just do it. So I took a break. I decided it was what I want. I made it my decision. I owned it, and then I went for it.
Okay, my extraction from one of the points I just learned from there is, one, always hold up to whatever it is, whatever decision you make in your life. Always, be proactive. Never give up, and take chances on yourself. Take chances on yourself. At least you're able to say at the end of the day, you know what, I made effort, right? So that means that's what I actually noted from what you just said now. And see, something just struck my mind. And if happiness is available to us at any moment through the power of our minds, right? So it's a different thing for us to wanting to do something, right? And it's another thing to, looking at the end goal. Of course, each and every one of us want to be fulfilled at every point in our life. We want to be fulfilled regardless, because hey, all of this thing is just tied to our purpose, and how successful we want to become, because success anyways is embedded, in our purpose, so which actually makes it inevitable. So would you say that you have truly found your purpose, or at some point is this really what you really want to do in terms of the journey thus far?
Okay. Well, if I'm going to link your question to the topic of this discussion, which is journey to fulfillment, I'll probably address it this way. Now, fulfillment means different things to different people.
Correct.
I think it all depends on our perception, where we are in life, and what we truly want, what we define as success. For me, fulfillment means I have peace with myself. And then I have peace with myself in what I'm doing. That's very important for me. And so if I look at it, it was quite challenging initially, which is normal for you're coming into a new specialty. It is way different. It will be challenging, but gradually it's going to get better. It comes with its own demands, but by the time I made the decision for what I want to do, I knew what to expect. I had a mental picture of what to expect, and I knew, it's probably going to be this way. So I'm okay with it. I'm at peace with it. So what I have to do is to find how to cope with it.
Okay.
That's for me. So, and then I found some, and I'm still finding how to cope with it. So for me, that's fulfillment. So fulfillment for me comes in with a place of knowing yourself, knowing what you want, doing what you want to do. Because it takes a whole lot. At times we all go through that phase of, because when you're talking about the fact that when we met and then we were planning that particular program and all that, all of us were in different phases. Some of us were just trying to just find who we are. We were doing this, we were doing that. That was what we were doing at that particular time, but it was just a journey. And to me, I think it's part of the journey to where we are today.
Absolutely.
So so I think it's just a journey to where we are today, and it's still it's still a journey. So it's not as if we are at the final stop yet. We are all still in this journey. And the truth is, what we quest for, what we find fulfillment, it will still change over time, maybe based on experiences, based on where we are, and based on our phase of life. But for me, having peace, having contentment with where I am, and being okay with myself is very important. I'm okay with where I am now. I have peace with what I'm doing. I've owned it. I'm comfortable with it. If I get probably to any point, it throws some challenges. The best thing would be that, how can I deal with this? What can I do? There will be high moments. There will be low moments.
Right.
But for me, I have peace with what I'm doing, so I'm fine.
Absolutely. I think I would say this just to to buttress your point. Life is, I always say that life is what happens to us when we have to go through life. Honestly, life is a journey on its own. Life is like a train, okay? And we all get into that train, we get off at different stops, and the stop of some people is actually the beginning of a journey for other people. You see what I'm saying? So what that means is, at every stop there is something. That something is called value. It's called fulfillment, because that you actually stand up to think about doing something, or to even think about having to sit down to evaluate yourself at every point in time, is fulfillment. Because those are the amplifiers that helps you to keep yourself in check in terms of everything you want to do. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm just trying to say again is, life is a journey. At every point in time, in fact, a lot of things, we do a lot of things not even knowing that we have actually accomplished all those things.
Yeah.
But of course, when we actually, so but when we run into a snack, or when we have like some type of an hiccup on the way, the ECOS actually make us get carried away.
True.
By being carried away, we lose track of all of those stops, of all of those things we have even accomplished. So now my question to you now, what would you say to that, doctor out there, or an healthcare professional who is actually in the same profession like you? What would you say to the ones who are, some of them who are probably trying to strike a balance, having to want to start a journey of their own, either in the profession or or otherwise? What would you say to those people?
For me, whatever we want to do in life, it's about now figuring out what works for you. Don't do this because everybody's doing this and all that. At times, yes, moving with the bandwagon really helps. But once in a while, you need to sit down, evaluate, think about yourself, think about, what do I really want? Who am I? What's my personality? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my fears? How can I face them? And then so once you analyze yourself and then analyze the situation, and then you ask yourself, be candid, be honest, like be open to yourself. Nobody can help you if you don't help yourself. What do I want? What can I do? So when you probably have your options and these are things I really want to do, then talk to people, speak with people, find out what obtains in the specialties that you want to go. It may not even be in medicine. A lot of people are doing awesome stuff outside medicine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Some people may even want to branch out of medicine. So my point is, speak with people. What are they doing? How can I do this? Or probably try and see people that are already doing what you want to do. Try and learn from them, understudy them, find a mentor if necessary. Get into that and picture the whole thing. Now the truth is, there's no decision you will make that will not come with its own challenges. So when you're trying to make it, always factor in the fact that there will be challenges, there may be struggles, there may be failures. You will fail at some point, but then we learn from our failures and then we fail forward. So these are all the things we need to be prepared of. So because you need to be mentally prepared for what you're going into, whatever you want to do. So in such a way that even when challenges come, you'll be strong enough to battle them, and they won't come in and then you are like so surprised that this is happening. No, you're coming and then you're like, okay, I knew challenges would come. This may not be what I was expecting, but I won't be completely thrown off balance because these are happened. And then even if you fail, because there will be a time when probably you make an attempt for something and then you fail. Of course, it will hurt for a while. I agree with, we are all, in as much as we are all superheroes and all that, I always believe that we are first humans. So yes, even when failure comes, or maybe you made an attempt and things didn't work the way you planned, allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to hurt, but don't stay down there. If you want to stay down there, if you want to go back, then you sit down, count the cost, what happened, evaluate, get feedback, and then what can I do better? What did I actually do wrong? What can I do wrong? What steps I can take, and then you try. So for me, always there's nothing we cannot do if you put your heart to it, and then it works. I believe something that. At times, the universe works for us what we want. It brings to us what we want. The universe will work for us, and then, but we also need to do our part. We need to work, and then every other thing falls in place. And then things just not fall in place. Some people try some stuff and then they keep failing and all that. And then it may just be because, they are not doing well and all that. It's just that things are just not happening. So at that particular time, if you want to try another option, please be open. So in summary, I would say, give it your best shot, decide what you want, figure out who you are, get into that stillness, cut out from every other thing, every other person, the noises, get out of the noises. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Who I am I up to it? Then follow your heart, because at the end of the day, the noises will cease, other people will go, it is going to be you. It is going to be just you and your decision that you've made. So if you want to do anything, own your decision, think about it, research about it, and then own it. And when you're going into it, go into it because I want to, not because this person said this, that person said that. And then when things fail, don't do the blame game, because it's just going to keep you down. You rise up again, you take the bull by the horn, cry if you have to, then when you're done, you wipe your tears, and then you re-strategize, and then you shoot again.
So that's man, this is powerful. Your message is just right on point. And I would just add to this, and this actually goes to everybody, everyone who is actually listening to this podcast, and especially also to all of the frontline, helpers, doctors, healthcare professionals. Believe me, thank you for all that you do. I really do appreciate you, and trust me, you are not alone, because you know what? You have journeyed through a path to becoming a lifesaver, to becoming a doctor, or a physician, or whatever, realm or unit which you are in that profession. The truth is, you can make a difference wherever you are. It begins with a decision and a defined purpose. And don't forget something. Always get yourself back up again, regardless of whatever it is.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever it is. It is possible for you to realize your dream as a doctor, as a scientist, as an engineer, whatever you want to become. You must be a passionate learner. And always, make sure you're curious enough to seek, that wonderful career path which you want to begin. Yeah. So on a final note.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. It just crossed my mind to also mention that in whatever you do, you also need to find yourself in the right circle. You need to have the right people. You need to have good friends. You need to have a very good network. People that even when you stay down, they know how to help you get up. People that are willing to support you, because the journey is difficult, let's not lie. It's demanding. It takes its toll on your health, not like health and all that. There will be good days, there will be bad days. We are humans. We probably at times lose patience. We feel all these things, but it's just that the job demands that you move on, you continue, you keep going and all that. Make sure you have the right circle. Make sure you take care of your own mental health, and also make sure that you at times you just need to talk to somebody, you just need to onboard, you just need to just have people you can speak with, have people you can be open with, have people you can be vulnerable with, because you're human, you're gonna feel some of these things, but you need to make sure you find yourself the right circle of influence.
Right.
And yes,
thank you.
A good work-life balance. Sorry, that one is very important.
Okay.
Very important.
That's good. Thank you so much, Dr. Ebunoluwa. And on the final note, before the end of this podcast, I want to say that it is only when you run away from what society wants you to do with your time, and then invest that time into doing what you are born to do, that you can attain greatness and live a fulfilled life. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And Dr. Ebu, thank you once again for coming on the show. Trust me, I will definitely bring you back on the show for subsequent, conversation and topics and all that.
No problem.
And thank you once again. And I would say bye for now.
Bye.
You have just listened to the Reconnecting the Dots podcast with your host, Abdurrahman. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. And thank you for listening, and see you all next week. Bye-bye.